It's 1914, and here's Belgium's tall King Albert dressing his small nation for a disastrous date with mighty Germany. Power-crazed Kaiser Wilhelm refuses to bypass Belgium as neutral nation. Not to be bullied, this is Albert's answer. Forced from their homeland onto alien soil, Belgian troops fight with embattled French. And even where fighting is thickest, King Albert, here with Petain of France, comes to see his troops. Here, on edge of famed no man's land, on fringe of fiercest fighting, tall Albert is first a soldier. And like a soldier, he goes wherever Belgian troops must go, even into the trenches. Braving skies patrolled by enemy planes and turned into playground of death by Baron Richthofen and his flying circus, King Albert must have an eagle's look at progress on the front, even though the venture may mean his death. His courage inspires the world. When America joins the Allied cause, General Pershing parades his troops before Albert and his Queen Elizabeth. Soon-to-be heroes salute one man who already is. Then victory, the armistice, and peace. And June 1919, President Woodrow Wilson is Albert's guest at celebration in Belgium. Wilson sees some of the soldiers who battled and beat the Kaiser for their soldier king. Then Albert sees America. It's still 1919, and New York pays tribute to royal hero with Manhattan's Mayor Hyland heading Father Knickerbocker's festival. After a City Hall reception, there's tree planting ceremony in Central Park, with Queen Elizabeth and even Crown Prince Leopold aiding the famous and heroic ruler. Patron of the arts, student of science, King Albert received well-deserved honorary degree from hands of Nicholas Murray Butler at Columbia. And then, across nation, Los Angeles is City of Flowers, as it honors Belgium's hero king. In First World War, no leader was more heroic than Albert of Belgium. Odds against him, power against him, with not one jot of help from his later allies, he led Belgian troops in holding war against mighty legions of invading Huns. His visit ends at Hampton Roads, Virginia, and with son Leopold and with his queen, King Albert goes aboard the Truxton at start of his royal journey home. Here's toast to hard-won victory and endless peace. Queen Elizabeth chats with an Italian admiral, and then troop ship George Washington takes them home. At home, it's April 27th, 1930, and King Albert and his queen are guests of honor and chief spectators at 100th anniversary of Belgian independence. Albert I is third ruler of House of Saxe-Coburg to wear crown as head of youthful constitutional monarchy. Once part of lowland countries, Belgians declared themselves free and independent. Pageant in style of Roman holiday marks full 100 years that Belgians have had country and king of their own. And it is partly King Albert's courage in 1914 that makes possible this joyous and exciting day in 1930. As royal couple leaves stadium that day, here's last glimpse you'll see of King Albert of the Belgians, beloved monarch in Brussels, hero round the world. It's 23rd of February, 1934. Killed by fall from cliff near Namur, he'll salute his adoring subjects along these streets no more. And Belgian hearts are as empty as the saddle of King Albert's horse. Soldiers and sons of soldiers he led into battle 20 years before pay their last respects to their royal leader as Albert, King of the Belgians, takes leave of the land he loved.
It's 1921, and University of Pennsylvania law student Ben Zorski hops his way to what looks like nothing less than a watery grave. But he's up, he's down, he's up, And what's he doing now? Why, he's pulling that heavily loaded boat. Tied hand and foot, Ben not only stays afloat, but has enough pull to play tug. Tied up with his law books, wonder if Benny has same pull with professors.
Here's famed Arctic explorer Roald Amundsen with two Eskimo girls of the Chukchi tribe. Legally adopted by Amundsen, they're Kokonita, 5 years old, and 11-year-old Carmilla. It's 9th of January, 1922, and Amundsen is going to Washington to prepare further explorations.
With New York's acting mayor J.B. McKee standing by, here's the one and only Kate Smith. It's 1931, and on steps of City Hall, Miss Smith sings her famous theme song as part of benefit show for Burroughs Unemployed. Festivities included baseball game between Joe McCarthy's Yankees and Bill Terry's New York Giants. Kate Smith, singing star, even in 31.
Here's Stanley Baldwin in 1922 when he was England's Chancellor of Exchequer. And here he is in 1923 as he began first of 3 terms as Britain's Prime Minister, succeeding Bonar Law. He later was prime force in Edward's abdication. It's 9th of May, 1930, and here's aerial view of one of worst fires on New Jersey waterfront. This is not the result of bomb, atom or otherwise. There was mild explosion in small motor tanker, and this is the fury and the flame that followed. Raging inferno is fed by more than 6 million gallons of crude oil and gasoline, and fought by all of Bayonne's firemen, plus 300 members of chemical firefighting units from adjoining plants. For a time, it's feared fire will reach this big tank, cause further explosion. But after 5 hours, fire's under control and Bayonne is saved from what, for a while, looked like total destruction.
Price tag, $60 million. Purchased, 1 railroad station. It's 23rd of July, 1925. And here's Chicago's brand new Union Station. Railroad and Windy City dignitaries lead more than 500 on tour of the terminal, which covers 3 acres of Chicago's most valuable land. Here are Samuel Rhee of Pennsylvania Railroad, Chicago's Mayor Deaver, and construction engineer J.D. Esposito. July 23rd is officially opening day, but station had already been in use for 6 weeks, with 4 railroads serving 50,000 people daily, with travelers going to and from city on pleasure and business or both. Nation's 2nd largest city, Chicago is world's greatest rail center, and here in 1925 it adds new and beautiful terminal to its collection of railroad stations serving the American millions who travel by train.
Flying first. It's 8th of October, 1922, and climbing out of plane at Mineola, Long Island is Miss Lilian Gatlin, first woman to fly across entire nation. Passenger on transcontinental plane, which makes trip in little over 27 hours, Miss Gatlin's off again to air races at Detroit.
Shoe Fashions, 1921. Here's what the well-shoed woman showed when she put her best foot forward way back in 1921. And for rainy or snowy weather, she was well-heeled in fur-lined tops to boot. Here are the boulevard shoe and the boudoir moccasin designed for leisure wear. Where but in 1921 could you find such an unhandsome display of footwear?
Lipton loses again. It's July 28, 1920, and once more Sir Thomas Lipton is trying for sailing's greatest prize, famed America Cup. At 10-mile marker in waters off Sandy Hook, American entry Resolute is already ahead of Lipton's ship, Shamrock 4. As Resolute makes graceful turn, the English entry tacks. Low winds make it slow race. This is fifth and final match between the two ships, with score now 2 races each. Near mishap occurs during run when garbage scow cuts across path of Resolute, forcing Lipton's craft to tack to avoid collision. But all's well, especially for America's Resolute, which wins race. And good loser Lipton smiles, even in defeat. New Army game. It's 1922, and at Fort Humphrey, Virginia, soldiers keep in trim playing a game called pushball. When that's over, brains are added to brawn in cane wrestling matches, all to keep America's regular army in the pink. That should read black and blue. Tug of war on muleback is another trying sport. Most of trying is to stay on the mule. Stake driving, Army style. It's a cinch if you know how. But fellow in foreground must be a raw recruit. Come on, you guys, let's get this over with and run for chow.